I grew up in a business where I thought my father was going to just hand me the keys and told me one day I was a 1%er, and I said, wow, that's pretty cool. He says, not really. Beer distributorships in this country, 99% of them are handed down to their family. You're not getting it. He said, go figure it out. And that's when he said, get your real estate license. And I did, and I started in the industry, and I worked for a residential company for a while. I worked for a commercial company for a while, and 8 years later, I started the Lund Company. I started a property management company, and I learned early as to how to run properties. I learned how to do the things necessary in order to go to the next level to own properties. So for the first 10 years, I worked for others. I just was handed the keys, and we did what we needed to do.
It may have seemed like a huge leap, but John Lund started where every young entrepreneur starts, at square one.
So when I started the company in 1981, about a year later, a fella came in and asked for a job, and I told him I wasn't hiring. And he said, well, if you rethink it, I think I'd be a great asset to your firm. And I said, well, I can only afford $600 a month. And he said, deal. So I hired him. So we made a deal. And Jerry Kelly is his name, and he's still with us today after 40 years. And then about a year later, another fellow came in and said, I'm looking for a job in real estate. And I said, we're not hiring. And he said, well, I think you might want to consider me. I've got a great education. I think I'd be loyal. And went and asked Jerry what he thought, and he said, well, don't pay him more than $600 a month. So I said, okay, you got the job. So I had 2 employees in the first 3 years of forming the company. Those 2 guys became partners. Those 2 guys are still with us today. They were a big part of this firm. That's how it started, with myself and Jerry and Rich, and we grew this organization to what it is today.
Next, Lund set the stage for what the company would ultimately become known for: finding great real estate and making it greater.
So Regency Court was a great opportunity for our company to manage a fairly significant property, very well known. It had been developed in the early 1970s by the Mutual of Omaha, and they were the primary owner, and property never traded hands. So when our firm was asked to manage that property, I was very excited because of just how great of a location. It had Borsheim's as an anchor tenant. I mean, it somewhat put us on the map as well because everybody knew of the Regency Fashion Court. So we managed it for the Mutual of Omaha folks. When you learn management, everything else falls into place. We didn't start in sales, we didn't start in development. We started at the ground level. We started, collecting rents and taking care of the landscaping and taking care of the interiors. And we were custodians to the assets. And as custodians, you learn a lot. So we feel our foundation and where this all started kind of gave us an up when we were competing for business. The greatest opportunity I had was when we acquired it from Mutual of Omaha. So it was one of the properties that we wanted to own. It became a lifestyle center. It became more than it ever was. And today it's still very, very successful.
That confidence allowed him to take a big leap in growth when it presented itself.
About 10 years later, the real estate industry was going through a change. And so I, at that time, had an opportunity to buy these properties from the lenders. And that's when I decided I would own real estate in addition to managing real estate. We learned a lot by developing and owning ourselves. You can't do anything any better than if you do it for yourself. And we did it for ourselves. We became very acclimated into the industry, and most everything we did was pretty much here in Omaha, Nebraska. We started going to other cities, and today we're in about 8 states. We're managing properties for ourselves and others, but we've become extremely invested in the multifamily business. We're, I believe, one of the largest multifamily apartment companies in the community and in the Midwest. We were approached by the Cushman Wakefield Company, which is one of the largest commercial real estate companies in the world. And they said, if you want to partner with us, we will put you on the global map. And it didn't take us long to say yes. Since that occurred, our brokers are getting more business. We've recruited more brokers. We've retained more brokers. Our business volume has gone up tremendously because of the relationships that we have developed. And that was a very big step for our company to move in that direction.
John was contemplating an even bigger step, one that would take him from property development to community development.
And I knew that the only way I was going to do things for the city was to get engaged, involved with some organizations. I was introduced to an organization called Leadership Omaha that is through the Chamber of Commerce, and I spent about 6 months in the Leadership Omaha program, and it's amazing the things I learned about this city that I didn't even know. I first joined an organization in Lincoln, Nebraska, a governor-appointed position. It was the Board of Educational Lands and Funds, and we managed all the ag ground around the state of Nebraska. And then I thought, I'd need to get back more into Omaha and see what's going on in the city, and I'd like to be a part of it. One of the first boards that I was asked to become a member of was the Mecca board. We learned a lot about how to make Omaha a better place to visit, how people could come and go to concerts, how Creighton basketball could come here and become a greater team. And being on that board, I learned a lot about Omaha. After being on the Mecca board, I was asked to join the Omaha Airport Authority board by the mayor, and that is another significant board that I felt I needed to be a part of. I think it's important for any member of our society, of our local community, to be on a board so that you can learn more about just not only your business, but of things that can change your business, things that can change parts of your city. You got to get involved and you got to help make a difference, because that's why the city is so great. I mean, look at the philanthropy that has occurred here. It's as good as anywhere in the nation. And we are very fortunate that we have grown a company with all the right people. I am very appreciative of just who I've surrounded myself with in the last 40 years. They've given me the confidence to do what I want to do and I need to do. If I look at one word that we are so proud of, and it's the reputation. People know that we're honest. People know we have integrity. People know we will do the right thing. And that's what we do.